Welcome to today's Explainer. Right now, we're taking a trip to a place where time just slows down. Picture this. You're stepping into a completely quiet mountain valley called Aoki Village. In the spring, the whole area is framed by these beautiful pale cherry blossoms. Summer rolls around and it's wrapped in deep, vibrant greens. Then comes autumn, where the red pine forests turn this brilliant golden color, before winter blankets the entire place in hushed, pristine snow. It is literally picture perfect. But as we're going to see today, tucked away inside all this serene seasonal beauty is an absolute masterpiece, a literal national treasure. We are diving into the 1,300-year legacy of a temple called Daihoji.
Right at the heart of Daihoji, there is this stunning, three-story wooden pagoda rising 18 meters into the sky. Now, it has an official name, sure, but for centuries, locals and travelers have called it something else, Mikayari no To. That translates perfectly to the Looking Back Pagoda. I really want you to think about that for a second. Why would a building have that kind of emotional pull? Well, rumor has it, the pagoda is so graceful, so seamlessly woven into the mountain landscape that when visitors walk down the path to leave, they simply can't help it. They have to stop, turn around, and look back at it one last time.
And that actually brings us to a really fascinating contrast, the number 4,000. See, today, Aoki Village is pretty tiny. The population is just around 4,000 people. It's a very quiet rural community. Yet somehow, it houses a national treasure, and there are very few of those in all of Japan. So how on earth does a massive, culturally significant masterpiece end up tucked away in a seemingly isolated mountain village of just 4,000 people? Well, to figure that out, we've got to rewind the clock.
Section 1. The Ancient Tosando Road. Let's dive right into this, because believe it or not, this quiet little mountain village used to be a major hub on an ancient national highway.
Think about how we travel today. We've got highways, high-speed railways, quick flights. It's incredibly fast and, let's be real, super comfortable. But jump back over 1,000 years ago, and Aoki Village was sitting right on the Tosando. This was a crucial, state-sponsored ancient road that connected the capital all the way to eastern Japan. Government officials, merchants, everyday travelers, they all had to use this route. And ancient travel? Man, it was grueling. You're walking over steep mountains on your own 2 feet, crossing treacherous valleys, facing horrible weather, and dealing with very real physical danger. Every trip meant leaving your family behind, never really knowing for sure if you'd make it back. When you're facing that kind of journey, you don't just need a place to rest your feet, you desperately need a place to pray for your own safety.
Because of that exact need, the origins of Daihoji stretch all the way back to the Nara period. We're talking the 700s. Long before the famous pagoda was even a thought, this site was born out of pure human necessity. Because, where there's a major road, people gather. Where people gather, culture sparks to life. And when people face the dangerous unknown, a sanctuary becomes absolutely essential. Daihoji became that critical spiritual rest stop for exhausted travelers and anxious villagers alike.
Section 2. The 1333 Architectural Miracle. Now, what's really interesting is the exact timing of when our beloved Looking Back Pagoda actually entered the story.
The year 1333 definitely wasn't just a random Tuesday in Japanese history. It marked the very bitter end of the Kamakura period, right as things were transitioning into the Nanbakucho period. It was an era of intense, violent political upheaval. The entire country was going through massive social shifts, anxiety, and full-blown unrest. And yet, right in the middle of all this nationwide chaos, up in this remote mountain village, they somehow managed to construct this peaceful architectural miracle. It's almost like the sheer chaos of the outside world made building this serene sanctuary even more necessary.
What they built is honestly breathtaking. 18 meters of perfectly balanced, quiet, wooden beauty. It's constructed completely out of wood, and those curved roofs and elegant lines, they don't try to dominate the landscape. The architecture isn't about sheer power or intimidation at all. Instead, it completely prioritizes quiet harmony. It was explicitly designed to blend seamlessly into the mountain nature surrounding it. That is the true secret to its enduring elegance. It feels like a sanctuary that just organically sprouted right out of the forest floor.
Section 3. Memories in Wood and Stone. But the pagoda itself is really just one part of the story. I want you to imagine actually walking up the quiet mountain path toward the temple right now. As you walk up the approach, you're greeted by these weathered stone guardians. And these aren't your uniform, mass-produced statues. Not at all. Every single one has a completely unique expression. Some look incredibly calm and peaceful, while others are actually kind of funny and surprisingly human-like. They've been shaped by centuries of rain and wind, softening their features and giving them this undeniable living presence. The people back then definitely felt a real soul within these stones, quietly watching over travelers for hundreds of years.
And you know, that idea of a living presence applies directly to the pagoda itself. Wood breathes. The pagoda is not just some static object, it's a living entity. The wood absorbs moisture during those incredibly humid summers and then dries out during the freezing winters. It physically breathes, enduring the harsh, changing mountain seasons year after year. The structure you're looking at today is the brilliant result of natural materials gracefully aging over 1,300 years of history. Section 4, Generations of Village Protectors. Now here is the absolute crucial point. Masterful engineering and beautiful, breathing wood are amazing, for sure.
But they just aren't enough to keep a building standing for 7 centuries. Engineering alone did not save this structure. Human devotion did. We're looking at an unbroken 1,300-year chain of protectors. It started with the craftsmen who originally shaped the wood. Then, the villagers who, generation after generation, constantly swept the grounds and cleaned the temple. Then you have the restorers who stepped in to meticulously repair damage every time the wood cracked or a roof started to sag. And of course, the worshippers who kept the spirit of the temple alive, praying through brutal civil wars and the massive disruptions of modernization. If even one of these generations had looked at this old building and said, it's too old, we don't need it anymore, it would literally be gone.
And that brings us to a core truth about history. Cultural heritage is a gift from the past and responsibility for the future. The Daihoji Pagoda is still standing today purely because every single generation made an active, conscious choice that it was worth saving. It is so much more than a relic. It's a baton being passed down through time. And now, as we appreciate it today, that responsibility falls to us. Which brings us right back to where we started. The mystery of the Mikaeri no To, the looking back pagoda. We know now it's not just the elegant curves of the roof or the breathing wood that make people stop dead in their tracks. It is the weight of 1,300 years of human devotion. It's the echoes of prayers from ancient travelers on a dangerous road and the tireless hands of thousands of everyday villagers. So I'll leave you with this. Knowing the full story, if you ever find yourself walking down that quiet mountain path in Aoki Village, when it's time to leave, will you also be compelled to look back?